towards self-realization is the only direction in which to advance. All the rest is vain and leads to suffering. Relentless, one-pointed perseverance brings about the change in perspective which will establish you in peace. Our mind is the swiftest thing in creation. Let the mind move at its own speed, constantly towards the one aim, which is God. If you endeavor to fulfill yourself by entering the current of your true being, this current will eventually lead you to the perfect poise of your own true being. The path of self-realization. The beloved is comparable to ice, which is nothing but water, and consequently he is without form, without quality, and the question of manifestation does not arise. This is the state of self-realization. For to find the beloved is to find oneself, to discover that God is oneself, wholly identical with oneself, one's innermost self, the self of oneself. The delight in the things of this world, in sense objects, is fleeting indeed. It does not last. It is impermanent. But where God and God alone stands revealed, there is no such thing as impermanence. Your attention is directed towards the world, not towards the eternal. You are identified with that which is transient in constant flux. The light of the world comes and goes. It is unstable. The light which is eternal can never be extinguished. By that light, you behold the outer light and everything in the universe. Only because it always shines within you can you perceive the outer light. Whatever appears to you in the universe is due only to that great light within you, and solely because the supreme knowledge of the essence of things lies hidden in the depths of your being. Is it possible for you to acquire knowledge of anything? Keep your thinking on a very high level. Praise and blame, filth and sandal paste must become alike. Nothing in the world should be repulsive to you. Look into our own heart and become repelled by the repulsion. Divinity is complete, whole. Nothing whatsoever can be excluded from it. Thus, there are and must ever be new expressions according to the varying modes that are being manifested at different times and places. Nothing without exception can be rejected or left out where truth is revealed in its purity. There is a time for everything. How can I know which is the true path? If you sit with all doors and windows closed, how can you see the path? Open the door and step out. The path will become visible. To be with God is true happiness. The multifarious kinds of beasts, birds, men, what are they all? What are these varieties of shapes and modes of being? What is the essence within them? What really are these ever-changing forms? Gradually, slowly, because you are wrapped in the contemplation of your beloved, he becomes revealed to you in every one of them. Not even a grain of sand is excluded. You realize that water, earth, plants, animals, birds, human beings are nothing but forms of your beloved. Some experience it in this manner. Realization does not come to everyone in the same way. There are infinite possibilities. and consequently, which for any particular person is the specific path along which the universal will reveal itself in its boundlessness, remains concealed from most individuals. Is it ever possible to bribe God? By cheating, you yourself alone will be cheated. God is everywhere. He pervades everything. He whom you think you have sought in vain for so many years is not apart from you. Just as a man cannot be without bones, blood, flesh, and skin, so the One is present everywhere, at all times, interwoven with everything that exists. God is one's very own self, the breath of one's breath, the life of one's life, the Atma. Not until his true self has been revealed to him may a seeker ever relax his search. By seeking, one will find the self is within one's own grasp. To feel fatigued, exhausted, because one has not found him, is a very good sign indeed. It indicates that one is nearing the purification of one's heart and mind. In dreams, all kinds of things can be seen, things which the mind has been busy with, and also things which have not been thought about, but which have occurred in the past, or will come about in the future. In any case, everything that happens belongs to the realm of dreams. There are instances when one loses consciousness while sitting in meditation. Some people have found themselves swooning away, as it were, intoxicated with joy, remaining in that condition for quite a long time. On emerging, they claim to have experienced some sort of a divine bliss. But this is certainly not realization. A stage exists in meditation where intense joy is felt. One is as if submerged in it. But who is it that gets submerged? The mind, of course. At a certain level and under certain circumstances, this experience may prove an obstacle. If repeated time and again, one may stagnate at its particular level, and thereby be prevented from getting a taste of the essence of things. If after coming down from the state of contemplation you are capable of behaving as before, you have not been transformed. When one has become established in a state of tranquility, one has become still. Only then, the activity of one's nature, which continues at every moment in sleep and in waking from birth to death. This is part of thinking mind become caught in the stream of self, eternally remain floating in it. Ever to keep the mind poised in the self wide awake in the current of reality, where the unfathomable, the one without end, is ever revealed in his infinity. This must, with the intensity of a possession, be your one and constant endeavor. Is it necessary to renounce the world? No. Why, where is the place where God is not? The natural way of life itself could be transformed into the spiritual way of life. In fact, there is nothing which can be other to God. So, properly speaking, to live in the world is to be on the way to self-realization. If one does not arrive at a state of stillness, the agitation of one's whole system will manifest through every nerve and fiber of the body and render one inefficient. If one's energy is not retained, the harmonious functioning of this energy in perfect tranquility is not possible. Interest in the supreme quest and practices performed in search of truth naturally have a calming effect. The preservation of energy is essential. One must not lose sight of the supreme goal of human existence, but strive unceasingly after self-realization. Everyone has his own path. In God's creation, the possible becomes impossible, and the impossible possible at all times. There is no going or coming. All is Atma. What do you think of all these new people coming to see you almost daily? Nobody is new. They are all familiar to me. You and I are two persons, and yet you and I are one. And the gap between the two of us, this also is myself. There can be no question at all of duality. Attachment and hate arise out of the sense of duality. Everybody's satisfaction is my satisfaction. Everybody's happiness is my happiness. Everybody's misery is my misery. Become drinkers of nectar, all of you, drinkers of the wine of immortality. Tread the path of immortality, where no death exists and no disease. When you feel power within yourself, when new light dawns on you from within, the more you can keep it concealed in utter calm and stillness, the more it will grow in intensity. If the slightest opening appears, there is always the fear it will escape. Sustained effort ends in effortless being. In other words, what has been attained by constant practice is finally transcended. And then spontaneity comes,